In 2021, in California, Harry learned of his grandfather's death from a personal phone call with the Queen before the news was shared with the public. This is in stark contrast in how Harry learned about the Queen's passing, my family. It is sad, really, on how he found out, my family, and that is what we will discuss today. How Harry found out about the passing of the late Queen Elizabeth II, my family. Kindly please hear this from Harry's memoir, Spare, on what happened when he found out about the passing of his grandfather, the late Prince Philip. How he found out, that is. My family, please hear this from Harry's memoir, Spare. And I quote, "How beautiful it all is, I thought, and also how sad. Once upon a time, this was going to be my forever home. Instead, it had proved to be just another brief stop. When my wife and I fled this place in fear for our sanity and physical safety, I was not sure when I'd ever come back. That was January 2020. Now, 15 months later, here I was, days after waking to 32 missed calls and then one short, heart-racing talk with Granny. Harry, Grandpa's gone." So my family, the Queen informed Prince Harry that Grandpa's gone. The Queen had the courage, the humanity of contacting Prince Harry and informing him that Grandpa's gone. My family, please hear how Harry found out about the passing of the late Queen Elizabeth II. My family, it is important to note that the media were informed. Even the BBC found out before Harry of the passing of the late Queen Elizabeth II. That's how much Charles and William were horrible towards Prince Harry. And clearly, this proved as being first of the many bad, sad challenges and horrible reaction by Harry's words from his family after the Queen passed away. This was one of them. Kindly please just hear this. And I quote from Harry's memoir, Spare, once again. "I spent much of the flight staring at the clouds, replaying the last time I'd spoken with Granny. 4 days earlier, long chat on the phone. We touched on many topics. Our health, of course, the turmoil at number 10, the Bremer games. She was sorry about not being well enough to attend. We talked also about the biblical drought. The lawn at Frogmore, where Meg and I were staying, was in terrible shape. Looks like the top of my head, Granny. Balding and brown in patches." She laughed. Harry always found a way to make the late Queen happy, to make her smile. That is what Harry did. Yet tabloid media reported otherwise. Now, Harry then told the Queen, "Take care. I look forward to seeing her soon, Harry," said. And as the plane began its descent, my phone lit up. A text from Meg. Call me the moment you get this. I checked the BBC website. Granny was gone. Pa was king. My family. So that is how Harry found out about the passing of his late grandfather, the late Prince Philip, by checking the BBC website. My family. That's part of the horrible reaction that Harry spoke of from members of his family during the mourning period and when the Queen passed away. When the Queen passed away, mourning period, and even clearly after the funeral, my family, they have never ever stopped going after Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Now, what happens here, my family, the contrast that we see, says a lot about the relationship that Harry had with the Queen versus his relationship with King Charles and William. My family, it also shows the difference in characters. And my family, and yet tabloids went ahead to leak this information. Kindly allow me to read you this. Prince Harry on a plane was initially said to have found out that his grandmother had died via a phone call from his father 5 minutes before landing. They said, in Harry's memoir, did he say that? The answer is no. Harry did not say that. Now, the Telegraph was briefed by the royal family, by sources in the palace, that the phone call did not go through. So, once again, they are saying they called him before landing, and then they say that his phone call did not go through. While he knew his father was trying to get in touch with him, it was said that the prince read a breaking news announcement online before they could work the technology to speak. I mean, come on, really? Is that the best that they could do, really? Is that the best they could come up with? The PR arm of the royal family. Is that the best that they could come up with? I mean, seriously, really. Did Meghan need, to work technology to call Harry? Because, yes, clearly, from Harry's memoir Spare, it does say that indeed, his phone appeared to have no reception at the time because he was on the plane. After being left by Prince William and his entourage, after William, by tabloids' own account, by tabloids' own, messages that they sell, that William had ordered the plane to leave without Harry. From what the Daily Express and the tabloids have said. So Harry had to find his own way there. And even in the interview with Anderson Cooper, Harry did speak about this, my family. He did speak about this, my family. And they left without Harry. So Harry had to find, a way to get there. And so he did. And clearly, when he was in the plane, there was no cell reception. And that's why, even Meghan texted him that once you get this, text message, call me the moment you get this. And Harry checked the BBC website. Granny was gone. Pa was king, from Harry's memoir Spare. My family, from Harry's memoir Spare. So clearly, my family, if you want to call your son, you take your phone call and you easily contact him. That is what you do. Not use these terms like they were trying to work the technology to speak. I mean, seriously, come on. It's a bunch of lies clearly coming from the palace. You know? Now, a spokesman for the now king has insisted the announcement of the Queen's death was not made until all family members had been informed. What a bunch of lies. What a bunch of lies. You know, hear Harry's memoir. As the plane began its descent, my phone lit up a text from Meg. Call me the moment you get this. I checked the BBC website. Granny was gone. Pa was king. That is what Harry said. And I go by Harry's account, not by the lies that are being fed by the royal family's PR arm, the tabloids, and the Telegraph. You know, I don't go by that account really. So my family, clearly, first of all, the spokesman for the king who sent this, message tabloid that, announcement of Queen's death was not made until all family members had been informed, is clearly lying, clearly lied. That is what they did, And then they say this, they confirm that Harry is basically telling the truth. Hear this, please. The official announcement was delayed until after everybody had been told. A source said part of the issue was getting hold of the Duke of Sussex. My family, okay, in that part, that's true. Based on even Harry's account in his memoir, Spare. So that's true. But all these other parts, really, about, the announcement being delayed was just a bunch of lies. Harry found out about the passing of the late Queen from the BBC website. That is how Harry found out about the passing, the death of the Queen, from the BBC website. Clearly, even Meghan as well found out about it from the BBC website. Clearly. My family, time and time again, they show and tell the entire world just how much they disrespect Harry and Meghan. And this is what we saw throughout the mourning period. It was turned into a bash fest of Harry and Meghan. Very, very much disgusting, really. Very much disgusting, really. My family. Now, someone else said this, that, for context, when Prince Philip died, it was 3 a.m. PST. And Harry had 32 missed calls. The Queen then had her staff contact the US Embassy, who sent the Santa Barbara sheriff to Harry's house. Also, she could tell him Philip died before telling the public. Someone basically said that. To which someone replied that I wish sure that this is true. Harry said he woke up that day to 35 missed phone calls. And when he called back, his gran told him that Phil had died. The late Prince Philip had died. I therefore thought that the police story was bogus. To which someone replied that in the article, the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Office confirmed that they dropped the message with the security guard at their home. Presumably, that woke him up and told him to contact his grandmother. My family. So that's what happened, really. So that's what basically happened. So you see that his grandmother had the audacity to at least, had the temerity, bravery, kindness, humanity at least, to contact Prince Harry before tabloid media and the BBC being informed about the late Prince Philip's death. And my family, this is clearly in stark contrast to what we have seen my family with how Harry was informed about the passing of the late Queen Elizabeth II. It is important to note that Harry did not mention anything having to do with the king trying to get a hold of him. He did not. He said Meghan. That is who Harry said. My family. Now let me read a couple of comments on this issue, my family. Now, someone said this, that if the king really wanted his son to know about the death of his grandma before the news was splashed across the world, he would have done so. The announcement could have waited until they were able to tell Harry. For them, Harry was not important enough for them to wait. Simple. This is true, really. This is true. That's how the royal family have viewed Prince Harry, really. That's how they view Prince Harry. Now, someone said that it wasn't about being important enough. It was about petty revenge. First of all, my family, what Harry has only ever done is simply correct the lies that have been told about him and Meghan. Those lies came from William's Palace, Kensington Palace. It came from members of the royal family, senior members of the royal family, like Charles and Camilla, and Kate and William. That is where it came from. So when someone says that, they want revenge, for what? For what? That William and Kate want revenge. For what? For what? Are they the ones who have been bullied throughout for 6 long years? The answer is no. William would never last a day in Harry's shoe. William would never ever last a day putting up with a fraction of what Harry and Meghan have had to put up with. I mean, just think about what happened, in William and Kate's Caribbean tour, of how much it was such a flop. Countries and people demanding reparations. My family, it was a disaster for William. And when he came back to the UK, he was complaining and explaining time and time again. So clearly, just an ounce of backlash, William is complaining and explaining to UK tabloid press because his tour went wrong. Do you think that that kind of person would ever handle or put up with a fraction of what Harry and Meghan have to deal with on a daily basis? The answer is simple. It is no. My family. Now, someone said that William was most obvious, really, in his hate shenanigans. But it is Charles who was involved in the most heinous actions against Harry and Meghan. Very much true. Very, very much true. As we have been told about Charles' phone call to Harry, whereby he proceeded to abuse and throw insults towards Meghan, to which Prince Harry replied and told Charles, "Don't ever talk that way about my wife." Harry stood up for his wife. So clearly, the message must have been, received by Meghan, exactly just how much they feel about her, from William to Charles. So my family, when Harry asked for reconciliation and asked for an apology to be given to Meghan Markle, I don't think it will come. I don't see it, really. I don't see it one bit, because they are not sorry about the pain that they have caused. They are not sorry one bit. As a matter of fact, by Harry's own account in his memoir Spare, they don't even know what they did, really. And if they know what they did, because they must know what they're doing, my family, they don't want to take accountability for what they've done because they don't see it as something wrong that they've done to Harry and Meghan. And that's why I don't see an apology coming. Because, after the late Prince Philip's funeral, we heard really from Harry that he had a meeting between him, William, and Charles, and they came. And that meeting, you have William complaining, shouting at Harry and screaming at him, telling Harry, "But you left. Why did you leave?" To which Harry responded, "You don't know why I left?" "I don't. I really don't, Harold." Same as Charles, looking at Harry like he doesn't know. I mean, the bullying of Meghan, the bullying of a pregnant woman to the point that she wants to take her own life. You don't remember that? You don't remember it one bit. My family, I believe they remember that vividly. The problem is, my family, is that they don't think that what they did was wrong because Meghan is a mixed race, woman of color. And my family, they will always be angry about that. No wonder Charles even refuses to acknowledge Harry's children, Archie and Lipper Diana, my family. The level of abuse they have inflicted onto Harry and Meghan has just been very much disgusting. And Charles, clearly, I agree, was the one involved in the most heinous actions against Harry and Meghan, at least from what we saw, in the mourning period and the funeral. We saw Charles' fingerprints all over it, my family. The enormous level of disrespect that he showed towards Harry, my family, we saw that in full display. Now, someone called Ed said that I don't know why I'm having a hard time believing that Charles and William could be such awful people. But I am. They are awful people. To which someone called Valerie replied and said that I don't have a hard time believing that Charles and William are awful. They are also abusive and petty people. I am in 100% agreement with you that they are awful. With family like these, who needs enemies? Valerie said. Now, someone called Nina said that that's why he should never ever come back. The way his father treated him and Meghan when the Queen died, not calling him, not waiting for him, arranging for him to fly the rest in Scotland, not arranging for him to fly with the rest in Scotland, telling him Meghan is not welcomed. Sorry, I would never ever come back. To which someone replied that familial relationships are not easy to let go. They give a sense of belonging, even if they don't really belong. That's why even after all of this, he still hopes that somehow he can still have a relationship with his family. Maybe not a loving one, but one where they can talk at least. Someone said that. My family. In my opinion, really, I feel like what Harry did is to try and get them to stop the leaking and planting of stories. Or at least just make them pause. That they know that as long as they speak about Harry and Meghan, leak stories about them, Harry will also talk. I felt like that was what Harry was doing. Now, someone else that, the leaking the story of how the palace went into uproar when they heard Meg was coming with Harry will continue to rub me the wrong way. They are lucky that Harry is still open to reconciliation, my family. The level of abuse that they've heaped on Meghan, Harry's wife, has been immense. Has been immense and a lot. And all because Meghan upstaged them. That Meghan was better at working than all of them combined. All because of that, really. Jealousy. And William not being able to have, his victim, Harry, a victim of abuse. As you all know, abusers will always never want to lose, their victims of abuse. Never. And William clearly never wanted to lose that, my family. Now, he was angry that he lost control of Harry. That is what William was angry about really, because he did say once upon a time that he had psychological power over Harry. So clearly, that was what he was angry about. Now, my family, I want to hear your opinion on this kindly, my family. I want to hear your opinion on this kindly. Now, someone said that, when Charles used the term, my darling boy, is to gaslight Prince Harry, to make him believe that he loved him, that he's his father beloved son. Charles literally conditioned Harry to think that he loved and cared for him, then pulled the rug right from under him and repeated the process over and over again. And to think that, first of all, Charles, in his first address as king, he said that Harry and Meghan are much loved members of the royal family. That is what Charles said. Clearly, those were blatant lies, clearly, my family. Because just a couple of hours before giving his address as king, maybe let's say days before that, he was abusing Meghan Markle in a phone call to Prince Harry. My family, in a phone call to Harry, Charles was abusing Meghan to the point that Harry had to tell Charles, don't ever speak of my wife that way. My family. That's what Charles did, really. That also shows that he has always been gaslighting and poorly treating Prince Harry his entire life. Now, someone said that this is evil, cold-hearted, and cruel. What Charles said even in his address, that Harry and Meghan are much loved members of the royal family, showed that, he was a liar, really. It showed the entire world that he's a liar, really. Because on the contrary, on one side, he's calling Harry, abusing Meghan Markle in a phone call to Harry. Then, in his address as king, he says he loves Harry and Meghan in his address as the king, really. That is what Charles does. That is abuse, really. So it's abuse and manipulating the public. That is what Charles and William have been doing for quite a long time, really. That is what they have been doing. Now, someone said that this is despicable. Charles and William are cruel. And this despicable treatment of Harry by his father and brother is the reason for my newly found republicanism, as well as they treated Diana. Someone said that, my family. It is worth noting that this is the first time that Harry has talked about how he found out about the passing of the late Queen Elizabeth II, and also the passing of his late grandfather, the late Prince Philip. On one side, he was informed by the Queen. The other side, the media was told fast before an announcement was made. That tells you what you should know about the cruelty and the evilness of the farm and courtiers. My family, now I want to hear your opinion on this kindly. With that and so much more, stay tuned to our next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and support our ever-growing family on YouTube. May God bless Harry, Meghan, Archie, and little Dana and Dora Ragland. May God bless them abundantly. And please stay tuned to our next video. Harry and Meghan, may you continue healing from the pain that has been caused to you by the abuse of the farm from William, from Kate Moulton, from Charles and Camilla. My family, stay tuned to our next video. Love you always and forever. Hello, members of Zesco Family TV. First of all, I want to say thank you for all your support that you give us to our channel. We don't take it for granted that you support this channel. I want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts for lending out your support and fighting against injustices, supporting Prince Harry and Meghan, showing them love. Love will always triumph over evil, and for that I say thank you. Good will always prevail over bad. Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you so much for joining this community, this amazing community of Zesco Family TV. I love you so much, family, from the bottom of my heart, and I wish you all the best. May you have a great day, and I hope that you enjoyed this video and learned a lot of things. With that and so much more, stay tuned to our next video. Leave a comment below, like, and subscribe. Love you, family, always and forever. Sayonara.